parsnips that are in the way of progress, making garden beds. Of course, they are a delicacy, especially if you bake them. Even the tops are edible. April 20th, big box store greenhouse purchase. We've got kale, collard greens, cabbage, Cossack kohlrabi. Oh, this one here was kind of neat because I got 5 plants instead of 4. There's a double right here. So I planted these brassicas in this row. I'll pay more attention to them since they're in this nice symmetrical row. I can put a roll cover over the top of them if it gets really cold at night. Speed them up a little bit. Now I definitely planted these Cossack kohlrabis way too close together, but I plan to start harvesting them when they're the size of a hardball. And there's also Brussels sprouts, red cabbage, and one more. Oh, I can't think. Kale and collard greens primarily in this bed, but I've got a couple of red cabbage in here and Brussels sprouts. And all the spaces in between I'm going to be planting seeds, mostly lettuce type greens, because they're outside the back door and it'll be easy to get to. Big box store clearance purchase today, $9 a piece. These are monsters. So I plan on having a whole lineup of pots here on this sidewalk, and whatever else I can find to plant. I did drill the holes out on the bottom, make it a little wider. I don't want them to get saturated. That's all I did was clean them out real nice. There's another pan underneath here. I think it was meant so that the water goes into that pan, but I don't want it to be stagnant in there. Just let it percolate through. If I see water in the sidewalk, then I know there's enough water in the pot. First time for the year walking around out in the garden with a coffee in my hand. I'm also testing out this new backward facing microphone attached to this GoPro camera. This is a lineup of brassicas that I planted here yesterday or day before or whatever. Let's see if we can find a place we can see through there. You can see a red cabbage. You know, setting up this row cover is like such a trivial act with huge benefits. I might be able to eat my crop 5 or 6 days earlier than otherwise. I've got more beds to construct. I'm going all the way to the fence. Interesting to monitor this black berry cane. You see it was pretty much ate right to nothing here. But there's one little strip that's left. Yeah, right there. One little strip. I think it'll make it. We'll just have to watch and find out. Those larger flat leaves are ramps, and they're actually plants that came up from seed from ramps that were growing on the property. White sulphate, white mammoth sulphate, and at the bottom are the seed heads. And I grabbed a bunch and I shook out the seeds, and here are the largest, longest, fattest seeds I'm going to plant this morning. 8 seed heads. These are the largest that I collected from the field and stored, and of those I selected the 3 largest seed heads and had the fattest seeds, and I shook them out. You can see them all in here. And then of those, I selected the fattest seeds. Right there. Black viper root seeds. And I went ahead and selected the largest seeds out of what I saved from last year. sweet peas that I no longer know the name of. And I selected the largest pods with the fattest peas. And these are the fattest peas of the largest pods. And right here is a pod with 11 seeds. So I'm going to have to do something special with that one. And here we have 13 holes, all with 4 seeds in each hole. I'm not even going to push the soil over the top. I'm going to add a little compost on the top. You can see the green peas are really easy to see, but here you can see the green pea, the white long seed is a black viper root, white sulsphate, and the black emmer seed is right there. Then I had extras at the end, and I planted them in a little short row. Oh, I can't wait to see how this experiment plays out. Having produced a new garden bed, I dug out all the weeds, including the dandelions. Now I'm going to clean these up, chop them up, add some to my breakfast maybe over the next 5 days or a week. The greens I'll probably all eat in the next meal or two. Dandies. Brassicas having healed in very nice. These cool temperatures. Collard greens, cabbages, kale. Soon I'll plant herbs in amongst them. And so I've been pinching off some of these older leaves, encourage them to grow new ones. Planted a bed of potato onions, the vaunted potato onions, supposedly the originator of all onions. I also planted other seeds in amongst them. Sulsphys, gorzarenses. I'm going to unplug the microphone so I can have a difference in speech. So now we'll do the same walk, talk about the potato onions and the different seeds. Also planted radish seeds on the edges. So this will be a powerful bed full of food right here. Brother's been in here building a chicken coop in my shed. Look at this. That's boxes. I was going fishing and he's building a chicken coop in my backyard. I kind of feel guilty. Oh, that's nice and solid. Look at that. Oh, he's got the floor going in there. Huh. Pretty nice, huh? We've got video. Here we have seedlings that I planted, transplanted into this little bed. There's lots of them. I believe some are Cornelian cherries, some of them are regular cherries, some of them are peaches, some might be medlars. Another bed with the seedlings. We're going to water these regularly all summer. We want to take care of them. And now I'm going to be planting Swedish soup peas. Look at how black they are. One fell on the ground. I better find it. They're precious. Here it is. I'm going to plant it along this trellis right here. This is the only place I can grow them because I got a tall fence. Tall enclosure. Supposed to rain tonight. Give them a fast start. Specialized high bush cranberry called Helinka. I wanted to make note that at the laterals we have some roots growing out. They're in the ground, they're pretty solid. So I'm going to mound some more soil up around there. And here we have, I can feel it solid right there, so there's roots here. I can feel them right there. And there's roots down here too. I need to heap it up with some more soil. Tall telephone peas. They did well in here last year. Let's get it in here a little bit. Supposed to rain tonight. It's perfect time to plant. Telephone. Oops, 2024. Tall telephone. Yes, indeed. So this one pod had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to plant the other side, and we have another pod. Carnelian cherry blossoms. This was the sweetest cherry in the backyard right here. This little plant. And a couple others that were pretty good. By and large, most of the Carnelian cherries have a tartness to them. It's a little bit of a sweet in the beginning, and it just puckers you up. But not this one. It's not incredibly sweet or anything, but there's no tartness to it. I planted this garden bed yesterday with rutabaga, large daikon radish, mango beets, and small radish. You can hear the young buck house wren. First thing they do when they show up is they start calling for a mate. So way up in that pine tree over there right now. Having dug out this little patch of creeping thyme, and man, I can't possibly think of eating that much thyme. I'm now going to be planting raspberries in there because I want to eat raspberries when the time comes. It rained last night, so this soil is just beautiful to work with. You can see where I transplanted a few raspberries in this morning already. And then that's the finished product. Raspberries, wood chips over the top of the soil, slow down the weeds, and then in the center are my garden beds. Growing me food. See, I put a screen over the top, a screened row cover, because they were calling for maybe the potential for hail. And I don't think these plants are strong enough for hail yet. As you can see, my shadow is pointing towards the trench that I just dug. Right there, see? I'm pointing. And I'll fill this with wood shavings. And I transplanted these raspberries in. Wood shavings will go over the top of that. This part of the garden will be finished. Here, there's a grapevine root system coming through here. Here's the grapevine. Edelweiss. Oh, that's a sweet one. And then this is what it's going to look like. Finished project. Now we're going to wait for soil life to kind of soften everything down. All these chunks and everything. I'll actually put a couple shovelfuls of compost over the top. This is where I'm going to be planting yacon. On the north edge of the garden bed. Because they're going to grow tall with large leaves. The shading component. and they'll shade my path. I stretched out a couple of screened row covers over the beds with the more tender plants, kind of save them from all this wind, and there was a chance of hail last night too. But you can see it's all growing. I can recall there's definitely radishes and peas, cilantro, I think kale. Coming up quite nicely. Planted them early, but I had to cover them with a plastic roll cover for a couple nights, and even a blanket. And for such a trivial act, I'm going to be rewarded with early health food from my garden. Going over to the brother's house for dinner tonight. I'm going to bring a surprise. I'm going to clean these up, present them as scallions. Look at that. Look at. They'll be overwhelmed. There. Washed and liberated from the roots. Spring onions. Now up to 10 beds made. Thing ate the bugs.
Lots of berries and trees.